no, Kerrigan, we don't need upgrades. We don't need evolutions. The Swarm is perfect the way they are. And today we're proving it. We're playing through Heart of the Swarm on Brutal with no upgrades, no evolutions on our units, buildings, or Kerrigan. This video is going to be part 1 of 2 of this challenge. If you want to catch part 2 live, I stream Thursday to Monday every single week. Be sure to stop by, say hi to me and Lexa, let us know this video sent you, and maybe suggest a challenge for a future video. With all that out of the way, let's get right into the challenge. The rules of this challenge are very straightforward. 1. I cannot research any armor or attack upgrades in-game. 2. I cannot select any new Kerrigan powers. 3. I cannot choose any evolutionary paths for my units or complete any of the Abathur missions to upgrade or receive units. 4. I can only use units that the game gives me through natural progression of the main story missions. The first few missions of the campaign have no upgrades available, so they'll be played as intended. Lab Rat is up first, and even on Brutal, it's a cakewalk mission as we rescue our pet Zerglings, destroy a gas chamber, and nibble away on the Eradicator until it's a puddle of broken metal. Back in the Saddle is the second and last mission without any available upgrades. Escort Raynor? Totally don't almost lose a tram engine and take down the Archangel to wrap up our second mission. In Rendezvous, we're made to hold out against waves of Terran while I try desperately to shake off the Starcraft rust, constantly almost losing my base to wave after wave of Dominion. Eventually, I'm bailed out and given a vast army to push the objective, expertly A-move, and scrape by our third mission win of the challenge. At this point in the campaign, we're given the choice to either go retake Char from the Terran, giving us Aberrations and Banelings, or Kaldir to fight some Protoss and add Roaches and Hydras to the Swarm. In the end, I chose Char, as chat wanted to see it more. While it is the harder option of the two, getting Aberrations as soon as possible would be a massive boost to our army. Domination is a pretty basic mission where we have to gather 100 eggs before Zagara does and then destroy her base. As will be the standard in this playthrough, we forgo unit upgrades and just focus on building out economy in the early game. After losing Kerrigan a handful of times due to my lack of skill, we eventually get 2 bases fully saturated and start working our way around the map, killing everything in our path and reaching the 100 egg mark. Afterwards, we're treated to one of my favorite battles of the campaign along with the best music possible to accompany it. Go! Burn him, burn him, burn him! In Fire in the Sky, we're tasked with spreading creep tumors to Scourge Nests to take down the incoming Gorgons before they can reach our base. We start the mission off by, you guessed it, losing Kerrigan at the start and almost losing our base. It's at this point that I fully realize that with no upgrades, we'll have to heavily rely on static defense early game due to weaker units and my insane lack of skill. Thankfully, it was pretty smooth sailing for the rest of the mission as we were able to build up an army of mostly queens with any Zerglings that didn't get brutally murdered by a Gorgon and eventually destroyed the last Gorgon and move on to Char Finale. Old Soldiers is one of my personal favorites in the entire Starcraft franchise, and it starts off with a bang. Actually a whimper as we have unupgraded Zerglings and Banelings, so the opening assault doesn't nearly get as much done as I'm used to. However, thankfully this mission we gain access to the Aberration, an absolute behemoth early game who matches super well with my queens and is able to handle a lot of the heavy mech that Warfield possesses. We're able to liberate the northern base and then lose it right away. And against all odds, I'm able to secure my expansion and work my way deep into Warfield's base. With my army, I push onto the final objective and easily kill. Never mind, my whole army is dead and Kerrigan's KDA this run is starting to look like me when I play League of Legends. It's fine, we managed to kill the objective the next wave and watch Warfield bite the dust while being the true hero of this story.
I have 3 shuttles packed with men too injured to ever be a threat to you. Husbands, fathers, you let those shuttles go. You hear me?
After Char's back in Zerg hands, we move on to Kaldir and are introduced to a planet that will periodically freeze our units in place. Technically we take advantage of evolution here, but there's no way around it, so now our units are warm and cozy and immune to flash freezes. After securing our base, we take our first set of units and immediately start killing some Protoss while building a few extra spine crawlers. The first flash freeze comes in, we clean up the attacking Protoss and move on to their first base. The flash freeze ends, and rather than kiting like a good player, I instead bully the Protoss AI by spamming Kerrigan's burrow until the flash freeze comes, and I can kill the Protoss and safely take my expansion. The rest of the mission plays out super standard. Wait for flash freeze, get harassed by the locals, and knock out the last 2 objectives, giving us the first win on Kaldir. Shoot the Messenger is not only one of the easier missions of the playthrough, but also gives my favorite Zerg unit in the Hydralisk. We have an early shuttle that is easily shot down, and we can get to work on securing our second base. Technically, you can finish this mission early by destroying all of the docking bays, but I lack both the skill or unit upgrades to safely do that, even if I do lose most of my army trying to destroy one of them. Thankfully, even losing my whole army, Spore Crawlers make the last few waves a complete joke and easily butchers the last of the shuttles, moving us on to the last mission of Kaldir. Enemy Within is the first mission where I had to reset, as I had to figure out what was possible when it came to evolving Zagara. Of course, we have to evolve her from a larva to get anywhere in the mission, so there's no way around that one. When it comes to Zagara, it's definitely possible to do the first 80% of the mission with 6 supply baseline Zagara. However, due to the time nature of the final section, we have to upgrade her just one more time. However, even though she is upgraded, we chose to only utilize the extra supply and stick to Zerglings only. I had to reset a lot in this final section trying to kill the escape pods fast enough without losing Zagara. I had an even mix of barely missing it and not even being close. The plan was to use the Ursidon to focus down the Immortal, constantly spawn Zerglings, and use 6 or so to will down the pods while the rest killed the defending Protoss. After far too long, I realized that the timer for the pods didn't actually start until I passed a certain point in the room. Learning this was a game changer, as I was able to kite out the opening group of units and fully kill them before starting, while also keeping my Urson alive. With that knowledge, I was able to kill the pods with time to spare, brutally murder every single Protoss on the ship, and send Niadra into deep space where I have no doubt she's living her best life. With the intro missions done, Char liberated, and the Protoss of Kaldir slaughtered, we're ready to move on to Zeros to take on the Feral Zerg and become the true Queen of Blades. Zeros was a comedy of errors, with the late night taking its toll, as I lost way more than I normally do, which we've already seen is a lot. The plan was to fully saturate my expansion right off the bat while holding off attacking waves with Kerrigan and my 4 Mutalisks. I eventually got over a year and lost everything, resulting in a reset. Thankfully, I was able to secure my expansion while defending it with a lot of Spore and Spine Crawlers, and started working towards the main objective of feeding the giant mouth in the ground. After losing an acceptable amount of innocent drones, the feeding frenzy was complete, and all that was left to do was to defeat the big boy Brack. I have a giant army of Mutalisks. I have Kerrigan. This is as easy as A-moving Brack and finishing the mission with ease. Yeah, I totally forgot that Brack is the new and improved Thor, and he wiped over 100 supply in the blink of an eye. In the end, the true counter to Brack is baseline Zerglings and taking pot shots with Kerrigan from a distance. With all that said and done, we wrap up the mission by the skin of our teeth. A massive thank you to everyone who watched this video throughout. I'm still learning and loving doing this kind of content, so I hope you both subscribe to my YouTube, like the video, as well as check me out on Twitch, where I stream Thursday to Monday every single week. Be sure to follow me there so you know when I'm live. I can't wait to get started on part 2, and I hope you're there either live or right here.